baby, now it's hard to stay still. Using all my time to climb the A-mill. Lucky Charms was my 8 a.m. meal. Or cinnamon toast, honey nut smacks and Cheerios was filling my bowl. Eyes glued to the telly, it was Ed and Eddie. But can you lower your voice, cause I'm missing my show.
What's up, everybody? It's your man, Random Man. It's Saturday, which means it's time for Saturday morning cartoons and cereal.
Cereal.
And today is such a special day. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that I have another box with my name on it from General Mills. I love that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about the fact that we've had some really, really great guests for these 8 seasons. But there's not been a time where I seeked out a guest in such a way. I feel like you were my one piece. Oh. I wanted this fantastic human being on my show for this season so bad that I've asked her 3 times now. And we got her on. So I'm very excited because today we're talking about the foodie characters, the characters that eat and eat and eat. And if I'm going to talk about foodie characters, I have to have one of the greatest food minds in the history of all food minds. I had to have the astonishing, the phenomenal, and the amazing Chef MaryLou Davis. Oh my goodness. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. That is an introduction. And also, the only reason that you had to ask so many times is I just had a lot going on.
Right.
So it's not because I was just like, no, I'm not doing the show. So I wouldn't want to think that. I was really excited. And then
not at all.
We had things going on in our personal lives, but we made it and now everything's perfect.
Right. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to ask you the second time around, because the first time around it was on me. I had some things going on with our show. But it's the Zoom episode. We're going to have some fun. I have Logic essentially in the building still. He's on the shirt. So I'm going to get right into it because doing the research for this was very interesting. I pulled up a very cool infographic that we'll bring up for the show because I think having fun on the show is what we do. But when I thought about hungry characters, and yes, I do have Chowder playing on in the background.
I can't stop staring at it. I was like, don't. It's like if you look at my eyes, you see me looking straight, and then I'm like, Chowder?
Right, exactly. I immediately thought about Chowder, and I must say, because you're a chef, I got to ask you a question. Would you have want Chowder to be on any of your teams when you were doing Hell's Kitchen? Because Chowder is a mess.
Okay. I feel like you're going to be very upset with me, but I've only seen one episode of Chowder.
I don't think you need any more than just that one episode of how bad of a junior chef he is.
Okay, so I just didn't want to mess anything up. But yeah, I've only seen the one episode, and it's not because like I didn't like the show. I think it was just at that time where it's on Cartoon Network, right? And it's at that time where I think I had like stopped watching a lot of Cartoon Network shows and like transitioned to something else. I think we all had that time in our lives where we switch from one network to another.
Right.
So I was like, I'll have to come back to this. And the next thing I know, I'm behind. And now I have a lot of people that are like, you should make this from Chowder. And I was like, dang it, now I got to go back and watch it so I'm not a poser.
And one of the things I love about Geeks and Grubs, and I've been, I don't even know how long I've been subscribed, but I do know that I have some favorite episodes of yours. But one of the things I love about is just the fact that you recreate some of these iconic dishes from these shows.
Thank you.
It's like I would have never thought to do a YouTube and try. First of all, I'm not that talented as a chef, so that's the first. That's the first thing. I'm good in the kitchen, but you know, I'm no Mary Lou Davis, but like for instance, the beignets you did. Let's talk about these beignets that you did. Season 1, I believe, episode 2. You did Princess Tiana before she was a princess. You did a version of her beignets.
Yes.
But this glaze you did on top of these things, like
the honey and chicory glaze.
Like,
yeah. Those are it's like I wanted you whenever you're having beignets, you always have like honey with it. And I believe I was at like Cafe Du Monde once and they had like this like it was a honey sauce, but I believe it's whipped, so it gets aerated and it turns white, and so it's really nice. But I wanted to add something to it, and then when you think of New Orleans, you're always thinking of like the chicory coffee. So I wanted to incorporate them both together. That way, when I am having them with coffee, they kind of pair a little bit better. But I mean, donuts and coffee are always going to pair very well. Exactly. And I really wanted to actually redo the beignets. I did this event in New Orleans a month ago, and I did these duck fat beignet bites. And they were fire. And I was like, Mary, you should redo
it. Wait. Duck fat beignet. This sounds decadent. This sounds amazing. What?
It is so decadent. And like the fat gets them like so crispy on the outside. And I made them like this tiny. And then I served them with like this duck liver mousse and like pickled peaches. And it was like, what's going on?
One of the things I enjoyed while watching your season of Hell's Kitchen was you have this ability to, and I mean, I wasn't there to taste these things, but I wish there was smell-o-vision, because there were so many times that you were doing this thing, and when you were explaining it, it was just like, it was kind of like watching a mad scientist at work. And I was like, oh, I would have never thought that needed a crunch. See?
When it came to like Hell's Kitchen and like the layering and the flavors and stuff, I feel like being on Hell's Kitchen is like culinary boot camp, except for the whole world gets to watch you like struggle and fall.
Right.
And like we would go to bed at like maybe 1 a.m., 12 or 1, and then we'd wake up at like 7 or 8, and then you would work the entire day. And it's just like, are the strongest going to survive? And it just pushes you. What can you do? Do more.
Right.
What is this? What's going on? Like, especially the challenges that he ends up giving. And for me, like, I'm from the South. So like my flavors are, I have heavy flavors. And I'm like, man, all my friends who were like personal chefs and who were from New York and from California, all their stuff is very dainty. And my stuff is like, my grandma made it.
One of my favorite things you said on the show is in the first episode when you were like, I'm good with it. Whatever they throw at me, just don't throw rice. Like, just don't say rice. We're good. As long as we don't get rice, we're good. And I was just like,
they don't give her rice.
I was like, how does she know? Like, she's just like, give me anything else. Don't give me rice.
Okay, so what happened was, and like, it's the way that was edited. So they didn't know that I was bad at rice because I didn't record that part until like that day was all the way over. I was just letting them know what was in my head. And so I didn't even go last. I think I was like 3rd or 4th. And everybody in front of me, chef kept asking people, is there anything you don't want? Is there anything you don't want? And everyone was like, I'm great with everything. And so I'm like, I can't go up there and say, well, chef, I make really bad rice. I was like, no, they're all going to think you're weak. You don't show them your cards. And I was like, I'll take anything. But deep down, I was like, please, not rice. Because like in culinary school, I'd mess up the rice, like black rice, white rice, brown rice, arboreal rice, all day cousins and friends. Like I messed them up. And then that's exactly what happened. And then they gave me 45 minutes to make brown rice. Like it takes 40 minutes to make brown rice. My nerves are everywhere. And my stuff came out mushy and crunchy. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. I was just like, and it's really crazy when you're like kind of rooting for someone, because in the same boat, you're like watching it and you're like, you're like tuned in and zoomed in.
Like, that's gonna be a bad idea. No,
man. Like, he's like, oh man.
She wasn't ready.
So really, really funny. Like I said, while doing the research for this show, One of the people or two people that came up a lot when it came to being greedy and being a foodie was Scooby and Shaggy. And what I love about Scooby and Shaggy is that Shaggy was portrayed however whoever was playing him at the time.
Really?
So if their food tastes were different, Shaggy was portrayed differently. But over time, the more iconic baseline for what Shaggy is has stuck since I believe right around 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. But Shaggy's a vegetarian.
Good one.
Yeah, I love
the 13 Ghosts.
Oh, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, I think is just highly not respected for how good of a show it was.
Not. And like, can I go on a tangent right now? I was talking to my friend about this. It was a few months ago, and I was like, do you remember the episodes of Scooby-Doo where they put the ghost back? And she's like, no. And I was like, and Fred wasn't in it. Fred and Velma weren't in it. It was like Scooby and Shaggy and Daphne, right, and that one guy who voices the Thriller man.
Right.
You know, when he's talking. And I was like, it was just his head, and he was a magician. And all my friends were like, no, I don't remember that. So I had to like Google it. It took me a while to find it. And I was like, no, it was so great. Yes, the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and they had to put them all back. Because they all went out and they were running amok.
Is the fact that Shaggy for years was eating a dog's treat. Like, because Scooby snacks are dog treats.
I know I'm not the only one that after that like ate one type of dog treat. I remember I got these like organic ones for my dog and they look like Oreos, and I'm just like pretty good. It tasted pretty good. It was organic.
Oh, I thought you instantly regretted it. I thought you were like,
I took the one bite and I was like, this is good. Like the meat flavored ones I'm not gonna eat, but this one like smelled really sweet. And I was like, no wonder she likes this so much. This is good. But I only ate the one. I promise. I didn't go back for more.
What would you say was your least favorite moment on Hell's Kitchen?
My least favorite moment, there's this one part that wasn't aired, and so it was myself, Jordan, Nikki, and Corey, I think, and we are going up against the boys, and so we had made I think I made something with pineapple in it. No, it was the spelling challenge, and then I gave Cody like pineapple, and I ended up going up against him. And it was myself and Nikki. We had to pick which one of our dishes was gonna go. And so we tasted Nikki's, and we're like, that has too much lemon in it. They're like, okay, Mary, we're gonna go with yours. And then mine has avocados in it, but I'm allergic to avocados. So I had to rely on everybody else to taste my dish for me.
Right.
So I bring it up, and Chef says that, it's not good. And Cody ends up winning. And it was like, yay. But what everybody didn't see is Chef tasted, tell me that my plating looked like garbage. And then he also said, bring Nikki's plate up here. Then he tasted Nikki's plate and he goes, well, if you guys would have won with this one, you guys would have won. And then he looked at me and then he left. And then I felt like garbage. I went in the shower and I cried because I refused to cry where they could see me. So I'd either go in the closet and cry or I would go in the shower, and I just sat there. And I remember all the girls came in, they like busted the shower open and they were like, Mary, you get up right now. And I was like, he just made me feel so shitty in front of everybody. And I was like, and I'm the reason we lost. And it was the same day that we all could have won Vitamixes. And every day I would go in that room and I'd be like, is it the Vitamix? Did we win the Vitamix?
There's so many moments that, because like I said, I started rooting for you. We were talking about this off camera, guys, but like I started watching it with the enthusiasm of as if like she was a relative. And I was like, yeah, I'm rooting for her all the way. And there would be moments that there would be like harsh criticism thrown your way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the harsh criticism was thrown towards me. So I don't know if that's all your fans, but I was just like, hey man, she tried. And that should count for something.
I get that from a lot of people. And they're like, Mary, I felt it. And I was like, you felt my pain? Thank you.
Right.
It was like everybody became my family.
I mean, and I think that's the way that you can tell if you have come across the screen as genuine. When people are not only rooting for you, but they feel your upsets and they feel your highs and lows as if it's their own. And I think that's when you know that you've come across genuine on the screen. And that's one thing I say, whether it's your YouTube show or Hell's Kitchen, you always come across like the most down to earth, genuine person ever. And I
really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No, it's from the bottom of my heart. I know that me and you share a love for anime, and I would be remiss if we're gonna talk about characters who eat a lot if we didn't talk about Goku and Naruto. And I have to ask, out of the two of them, who would you want to cook for?
Naruto.
Naruto?
I would love to cook for Naruto because I just feel like he would appreciate what I made, but also if it wasn't the way that he wanted to be, he would give me the criticism that I need. I feel like Goku just is like, I'm going to open my mouth and I'm just going to stuff everything into it. Right. I don't care what it is. Naruto's like, this isn't the same like last time. Why did you do this? This isn't right. And I'm like, tell me more. What is it that you don't like about it?
Right.
Like, I would get good feedback from Naruto.
Right. I was very happy when someone like Beerus came around in the Dragon Ball mythos, because then it didn't look as if Goku was the only bonehead for food, because like Beerus he'll destroy an entire planet, entire galaxy over food.
Like a man I can respect.
Watching your latest one where you were
the one that I dropped yesterday.
Yes, which is such a funny episode because there's so many moments where you're like, didn't think this through. And that's what makes your show just balls to the wall funny, because you're like, oh man, where's my beer?
Feed myself. There's like, I have to finish editing all the bloopers, but there's just so many bloopers where I'm just talking to myself. There's like, it took me a couple days to actually film it because I ended up breaking the glasses that I was wearing because they were like fitting weird. So I moved them and they broke in half. And I was like, my spectacles. And then I grabbed my wand and it's just like me trying to fix them. And my roommate was like, Mary, hold on. And I hear her like grabbing things. And then she walks out with 2 wands. And it's just 10 minutes of just her and I being really silly, like, Reparo. And I was like, it's like, you freaking nerd. So, that's really what I try to go for with my show is I want to show you how to cook the things, but also like, I just like to talk to the camera and I like to go back and forth. So if you want the recipes, they're going to actually be on my website, but this is me like trying to figure it out. A lot of trial and error. I really wanted it to be like a 90s cartoon show that you're watching. Right. I find that so funny. You know, that's the era that we grew up in. Right. That's why I have the theme song in the very beginning. And that's why I have, and now a word from our sponsors. And I was
it's so many little things. So many little things. I think that's one of the things that makes you like such an inviting person to watch, because it's like you feel like you're watching something that you have a nostalgia feeling for. So it's like, and I think nostalgia brings people together. I feel like this is why
I agree.
The show, because I think everybody at one point in life, whether you were eating porridge or cereal, at one point in your life, you ate cereal of some kind and you watched cartoons. So that's why I put the whole show together. I think now would be a great time to bring up this great infographic, because you brought up 90s. I know they started in 87, but they're a 90s cartoon, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I got this great infographic. Okay. It's the amazing pizzas that they had on this show. So we're gonna go through these, and you're gonna tell me which one of these would have worked and which ones would have not have worked. Okay, because over the various seasons of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1980s, 1990s series, they've had some really, really interesting pizzas. So we're just gonna go through a few of these. You tell me if these ingredients work or not.
Okay.
All right. Episode 19, Beneath These Streets, the Turtles ordered a granola and licorice pizza.
Okay, that one, that's not gonna work. A granola and licorice pizza, because I feel like it really depends on what makes a pizza for you, and what really makes a pizza for me is going to be sauce and cheese. Like, I need sauce and cheese, whether it's just a little bit sprinkled on, and they're not having anything that's going to simulate the like cheesy effect. I'm not going to have anything that's simulating the sauce effect. I can see how the crust is made out of granola, and then how the topping could be licorice, and even if it's different types of licorice, but like, is there a jam that's going on top to act as the sauce? And then what am I using as some type of like garnish on top to simulate the whole cheese aspect? You know, it's not working for me. I don't get it.
Just like a good chef, everybody.
That doesn't make any sense. It
just she broke that down. All right, this one,
granola bar and stuff it with licorice.
This one's interesting. Episode 29, they had April Fool. So this was a regular based pizza. It had sauce and cheese, but the lovely ingredients were pepperonis and marshmallows.
That could work.
She said that could work. Okay.
I think that could work because you can easily like manipulate the marshmallows into tasting something. They're obviously going to be sweet, but let's just say like I get a mascarpone cheese and then I mix that with like the marshmallows, and then you're getting like a kind of savory sweet thing that's going on with your pepperoni. I'm about it. Let's go.
All right. So far we're one on one. Okay, here's one. This just made me not very happy at all to hear this. So this one, it was from episode Pizza by the Shred. The base of the pizza was peanut butter, with avocados and extra pickles. And I believe Michelangelo ordered this.
I can't get jiggy with that at all. It's like, I'm like, okay, peanut butter and avocados, you could make those work. They're both like creamy, fatty things. And then you just lost me with the final one. And the pickles, like, I can't do it.
I can't do it. All right, I think this one might work with you.
I feel like this is a freaking shop challenge right now.
Episode 77, Superhero for a Day, featured pepperoni and extra pickles.
I could work with it. I love pepperoni and I love pickles. And like, what if I'm like, and you know, they're not even saying what kind of pickles that they are. Is it a dill pickle? Is it a sour pickle? Is it a sweet pickle? Like, what we do? Is it a hot pickle?
I think it could work either way.
It could work.
All right, we're gonna do one more because this one was the weirdest. Well, no, none of all of these are weird, but this one was very weird. Episode 120, Raphael, Turtle of 1,000 Faces, which is a fantastic episode, by the way. It's one of my favorite episodes. In this episode, there was a pizza that was eaten by the turtles that had grape jelly, peanut butter, and tuna.
Like tuna out of a can or like fresh tuna?
I'm gonna say it might have been some fresh tuna.
Okay, if it's the fresh tuna, I think I put like some type of sweet soy on there. I could probably get it to work. But if it's out of the can, I can't do it. Like, and there's nothing wrong with canned tuna. Just those all together don't go, because I will destroy a tuna sandwich, or just make like some tuna and I will get like some fries and I will like just dunk them in there. I used to love doing that, but I'm not putting that canned tuna on my pizza.
I love it. You know what I'm gonna do for you? I'm gonna send you this infographic, because I feel like
I would really appreciate if you did, because I'm like, should I recreate some of
I feel like you can pull some of these things off, especially the superhero for a day, extra pickles and pepperoni. I feel like you could pull that off like easily. I feel like that would be like right up your alley. So now, everybody, it is time for the most important question of all Saturday morning cartoons and cereal. This question can make or break an episode, and this question has been known to have some fantastic answers to it. And the question goes a little something like this. If you were in any cartoon universe, if you could choose to be in any cartoon universe, where would you choose and why? But know this, you would have to live by that universe's rules, and you might just be Chef MaryLou Davis in a Saiyan world and just be a regular human and have to deal with the fact that your convertible might get blown up by a power beam. But you would have to live by those rules. Where would you choose and why?
Okay, question. Does it have to be a cartoon, or can it be any type of fandom?
Ooh. I'll give that to you. Any type of fandom.
I'm gonna live in Harry Potter's world. That's where I'm at. I'm definitely gonna live there. And why I'm gonna live there? One, freaking magic. It's everywhere. And I already know the lay of the land. I know the laws. Like, this is great. I'm going to end up ruling that place. You know, myself and Molly, we're going to work together. Eventually, she's going to end up working for me and be like, Molly, you got to be in the back making the food. I'm going to come out and I'm going to talk to the people. And then I'm going to grow to like chef stardom all in the Harry Potter world. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to live there just because that fandom has my entire heart and soul.
I can dig it. I can dig it. That there's one for the books, everybody. We have not gotten anyone that asked the question of being any fandom. I thought you were gonna like, you know, nothing against you, because I think you're one of the hardest competitors, toughest competitors ever. But I thought you were gonna cop out and say Food Wars.
No, there's too many people like me in Food Wars. And then like, I just feel like I'd be stressed every freaking day, because I'd be walking by, you know, like, let's just say I just got off the show. I'm going to go into my job. Man, I challenge you to a food war. And I'm like, but I just got home. I'm going to the grocery store. Mary, I challenge you to a food war. And it's just like, dude, can I? And then my reputation's online. So it's like, how many times can I say no? I'm like, I've retired, but I haven't retired. No, I need to go somewhere where I can be different. And then I go to Harry Potter's world and they're like, oh, that girl's cool. She's doing this. Yeah. And then you know what? Gordon's already English, or he's Scottish. He's both of them together. So I got his seal of approval. All the English people are like, yeah, we fuck with her. And I'm like, hey.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This was fun. This was amazing. Didn't know how it's going to go. And when I found that infographic, I was like, this could go one or two different ways. Tell everybody where they can find you, all that good stuff. And before you start, let me just say this, guys. We didn't get to talk about it, but your cosplays are amazing. And I didn't want somebody to say you didn't mention anything about our cosplays. Your cosplays are amazing. I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
Yes, where can everybody find you and all that good stuff?
All right, everybody. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. It's all Geeks and Grubs. The only thing that's different is YouTube is Geeks and the ampersand sign, and then Grubs. I didn't make it the A and D. I wanted it to be like G and G, like D&D. And when I put that ampersand in there, it kind of ruined my life a little bit. But Geeks and Grubs, and I go in, I like to cosplay, and then while I cosplay, I'm also recreating the dishes from that episode. And then every once in a while, or every episode, I go off on a tangent just about the episode itself or the characters. So please feel free to watch. We actually have a lot of merchandise that's coming out. We have a comic book that's coming out, Chef Mary versus the Buffet of Baddies. It's going to be great.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I am so invested. I am so invested. I think And then what I'm gonna do, because I have to send merch to Nix from Do You Speak Geek, who also spoke very highly of you. I have to send merch to him. So I'm gonna send you some merch from Definitely Amazing, because you're definitely amazing in my book. Thank you so much for being on this show, for making season 8 great. And look, if you ever need someone, because I frequently go and travel and all that good stuff, I'll bring my butt over to your side of the world. If you ever need someone to, guest appearance on Geeks and Grumps.
I appreciate that. I'm really trying to work on this African ramen from Food Wars. So somebody, I can't taste my own food. Like, somebody's got to be there for me. I'm better when I build off of people, and then it's just me, and I'm like, I think it's good. What do you think, other Mary? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? Look in the mirror and be like, yeah, you've done great.
Listen, as long as you're not making anything with shellfish, I'm okay. And if I need, I'll just EpiPen it.
No, I won't do anything with shellfish.
This was a wonderful episode. Once again, everybody, it's your man, Random Man. It's Chef MaryLou Davis, and she is known as the mind and fantastic person behind the food that is seen on Geeks and Grubs. So if you want to get your geek on and your grub on, you know where to go. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss an episode or a bowl of Saturday morning cartoon cereal, and you also know what to do, hit that notification bell, hit the like, and subscribe. And everybody else, just know that we are out.
Bye.